Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Dawn of Discussion with Graham Ron. Here's our faces.
I thought you said gone wrong for a second
Gone
there.
Ron. So
It's just a
there's
prank, bro.
this
Just a
is a prank.
prank.
We're not actually here. Lol, lol. Gotcha. So there's two things I want to mention before. Okay. Sure. There's two things I want to mention before we actually start the episode. The first one is that we actually benefited from having a different background. So I've actually arranged for that to happen again. So here is Baby Yoda. He's right there. He's just over there.
Smooth.
The stream don't see him yet, but he's over there.
He's there. He's there. We all know that.
Yeah, there we go. There he is.
Ah, there he is. Yeah.
The second thing I want to announce, we're kind of sponsored. A little bit. It's just a plug of mine that I'm going to do every single episode for this
So
month.
it's not really a sponsor so much
No,
a self plug, as it
it's a
were.
self plug, 100%. Just want to announce that my album called Yes No Meh is in pre-order now on iTunes and Amazon Music. I won't put a link up because the album artwork is completely fucked up, and I've requested for it to be changed, and I'm very embarrassed by it. So you won't get the link to fucking pre-order it. But once you do have it, it'll be £3 or £5 on Amazon Music because they take a £2 extra to put into someone's pocket. But this is my announcement for like every day. Oh yeah, and it comes out on the 25th of March. This is my announcement for every single Wednesday of this month. That's it. That's all I have to say. How you doing?
Yeah. Good. Can't complain. Well, actually, I can, but don't know whether or not I even should.
Well,
Something
depends
that
on what.
really grinds my gears. I'm not sure if you've seen or heard any news about it.
We're on
But
grinding gears
recently,
again.
yeah, Dina Carrera, the continuous controversy has not stopped. It has
No,
returned on the subject of
yeah, I've seen this.
Mandalorian. Bill Burr, who plays who does he play again?
Migs Mayfield.
Yeah, Mayfield. Had something to say that he basically didn't agree with the firing of Gina Carrera and is basically sort of defending what she said.
Right. Do we have the article in which this gets discussed?
Uh, I have.
Oh, real quick before you do that, credit where I got the Baby Yoda picture. It's from the internet. I literally just got it from Google Images, so I don't know. Anyway, um, let me find that article so we can find his exact wording.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like it was a bit of a rant, but yeah.
Yes. So, if I go on here, so I can actually preview my my thing. Hang on. There's weird shit happening on my Okay, I can't use my other screen for some reason again. Apologies, but I have the article up, so I can read it.
I can always post it in the description in the end.
Also true. So I will put it on your face, so I can actually read the comments still. So, on his podcast, he has said the following. She was an absolute sweetheart. Super nice fucking person. And whatever. Somehow someone will take this video and fucking make me say something else and try to get rid of my bald action figure. I'm on that fucking show. Now I gotta watch what the fuck I say. How is it out there? It's fucking crazy time. There's people waiting. just laying in the weeds. Let's show that he's human and he's made a mistake in his past and take that dream away. How do you hold up judging somebody that harshly? I'm not talking about the hardcore shit like sexual assault and rape and stuff. I'm not talking about that. Now it's become like, hey, you made an ignorant comparison. There goes your dream. I look at that and say, who the fuck stands up for that? And then his guest said the following: I get what she was trying to say. Obviously, any comparison to anything with the Holocaust is a shoddy comparison. It's a dumb thing to do. I'm not disagreeing with any of that. However, how is it any different from all the people on the left when Trump got elected and they said, he's like Hitler? How is that any different? Those are two statements.
Yeah. Like,
Is Tammy having a conversation with herself?
so just quickly, Tammy, we did literally do that at the start. So you clearly just like joined after seeing Baby Yoda pop up. So
Also, I have it on high latency again, so
yeah,
whoops.
but
I wonder if I can change that during the stream. While you talk about the very interesting claims that these people have made.
these two people are making, yeah, because like I can understand the argument from, oh, people when Trump was elected, people on the left said, he was like Hitler and everything. I think, yeah, that's fair. A lot of people on the left did say that, but here's your issue. None of the Hollywood lefties, far as I can tell, or none of the ones that are in big important roles at the moment,
Yeah.
made that comparison. And even if they did, I think there's a difference between comparing someone to a horrible person like Hitler than versus, let's say, someone victimizing themselves and the entire political party that they subscribe to, saying, oh, this is as bad as when the Jews were being beaten in the streets. I think that's a bit far. You're victimizing yourself when you're not really the victims. You had a president in office of your choice
Yeah.
for 4 years, and now he's gone. That's just you being salty about the fact that he didn't win the re-election.
Yeah.
That's a bit pathetic versus people who, yes, and to be fair, the left were extremely salty when Trump won the election, and a lot of them said things that aren't true or are very extreme, and I don't condone it or agree with any of it. But at the same time, I think
Well,
I just, yeah,
people were beaten up as well for voting Trump allegedly.
yeah, which I don't
Not
buy.
allegedly beaten up. Beaten up for allegedly voting for Trump. There's videos that basically confirm this as well. But then again, I say that no video confirms anything anymore.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Well, that's the thing is like I think
it was
that's the
just
thing. Also, when that's the thing, someone it's also a difference between giving an opinion saying, "Oh, I think Trump's like Hitler," versus someone making a bold claim, like an accusation saying, "See, they're beating us up in the streets." It's like, okay, where's the proof? And they'll probably say, "Oh, but the media and everything are hiding." It's like, yeah, that's fair. The police won't, though. If you really are being beaten up, the police would be telling the press that, no, bluntly, look, yes, people who are supporting Trump are being beaten up in the street. Oh, why didn't you tell us before? Because people who are supporting Joe Biden are also being beaten up in the street. Who gives a shit? Probably
yeah.
that. It's probably that kind of thing where it's if they are being beaten up, it's not just them. It's both sides, but they're the ones victimizing themselves.
Yeah. Also, I think it's the level of platform as well. Like, I'll be honest, any like famous person who in 2016 and beyond said that Trump is a Nazi, I didn't care for anymore because it's like, okay, we're gonna go political now. Don't care.
Yeah,
Like, do your like don't I don't basically I don't really want to watch the shows that you're in anymore. It's not cancel culture as such. It's just me saying I don't support your
yeah.
statements, so I won't support your participation in the art.
Hmm.
Fuck. Anyway,
Oh, so to be fair, I hate to say what's his name, Bill Burr, is it?
yeah,
Yeah, Bill Burr. He's saying, what was him? I'm in the fucking show now. I'm like, you're barely in it. You were in 2 episodes, mate. I don't think you're going to be featuring much now after this
yeah.
podcast.
Also, the
And here's the
controversies surrounding him are about completely different things as well.
Yeah. And I think the other thing is as well, I'm willing to give him a little more relaxation because he is a comedian as well. Like he's done stand-up comedy routines and
Yeah,
shit, and it can always be, whenever he says something, it is a form of satire. Whereas Gina Carrera, that was an actual political mindset and opinion. That was different. That was her as a person. That wasn't her trying to be funny or her trying to be clever. It was her trying
yeah,
to be serious, which I think can ruin it as well.
yeah. It's not to say that I completely disagree. Again, because again, as Van said, um, is it any different from all the people on the left when Trump got elected and said he's like Hitler? Or is it different? We've explained the differences, but again, it's not the right thing to do.
Yeah, it isn't.
Um, and so basically, I think the main point that he's trying to convey is that um, because he's in that position of like being in the spotlight and stuff like that, and being of a certain amount of
Yeah,
fame, he has to watch what he's saying.
yeah,
The problem is that that's exactly one of the things that comes with the job. I don't think there's any TV show about being
yeah,
famous that hasn't covered this.
yeah.
It's part of the industry. Like this is part of the world that you're
You
in.
you represent the brand now, and therefore you have to protect the brand as well. It is no longer just about you; it's about the product you are helping produce.
Yeah,
And that's the thing I think he and Gina Carrero have failed to understand. It is not about them; it is about the Mandalorian and the image of Disney, which Disney has a right to protect what they feel represents them.
wait, hang on. I'm being requested to feed our guests because I'm assuming because I'm eating in front of. Wait, do you wanna eat?
So I'm
I don't
now
think he's
watching the
hungry.
stream.
I don't think he's hungry. So bad. Hmm.
Come on. Yeah.
There it goes. Yeah.
That's incredible. But
You gotta do something. Anyway,
but yeah, going back to
the topic at hand.
the topic at hand about all this shit with Bill Burr and
Mm, yeah.
Gina Carrera and Mandalorian, I think because here's when you would put it on the other foot. If people were then saying, oh, Joe Biden is no better than Joseph Stalin, they're both lefty communists,
Yeah.
and
Exactly.
then later in the next re-election, all the Democrats are going out saying, oh, we're being beaten up in the street and being thrown in prisons like they're gulags. And
Yeah.
I doubt the right would have anything. I doubt Gina Carrera would have anything to say about that. She probably would defend the right, saying, "Oh well, those people had it coming."
Mm,
I mean, to be fair, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe she wouldn't do
yeah.
that. But
No. No. You're probably
actually,
right.
she would either defend them or wouldn't say anything. I think that's a bit of a double standard because if you're trying to stick up for your side about how you
Mm,
think you're being oppressed, and if the other side is, then you should stick up for them
no.
as
She
well.
she would she would see it as an example of how they're being oppressed.
Yeah,
Where basically, like, if a Republican president comes along, then after people have been saying, "Oh, Biden is a piece of shit," and then they go like, "Oh, we're being beaten up on the street," she'll probably go like, "Okay, well, you're fabricating this, and you're just salty because justice has prevailed or something like that."
yeah, exactly. That's
Can we
that's
just
the
talk
issue
about
with
that statement as well? Justice has prevailed, because that's like the common thing that went around. What, November was the election? Like
yeah.
people kept saying justice has prevailed because Biden is president now. No, it fucking hasn't. This is democracy. There is no justice because
Well,
justice is no, not really.
there is, but there is, but it doesn't take the form of fucking presidential
No,
election.
not in the slightest. No.
Justice is when someone murders someone else and then they go to prison. That's justice. Justice is not a president you don't like not being re-elected. That's not justice. That's yeah. I'd agree with you on that. That's
Yeah.
fucking stupid. It
But
makes
also, yeah, in that sense, I think justice is for court. Yeah.
sorry, I saw the
Justice
thing.
is yeah. Justice is for court.
Yeah.
Um, if you want justice in politics, there is no such thing because it's entirely based on people's public perception.
Having said that, Nixon and Watergate.
Ah, the tricky dick.
Because there's the issue there of that is still also different. You know, he was caught. There's
Of
proof.
course,
There's evidence, and he was taken to court and he was impeached, and that's justice prevailing.
it wasn't justice
Whereas
because
this
Obama was never caught.
Obama did 9/11. He was one of the people on the plane. And how did he get out of it? Magic. Dark magic.
He jumped and then hid in the shadows.
I wouldn't be surprised if that's something. But yeah, because it's I think that's the thing. I think America's is become the issue is with the creative industry, as you and I have talked. It should never be
Politicized.
politicized.
Yeah.
It should never be that, but it has heavily become that now to a massive point.
Yeah.
And I
That's the
think
thing.
it's
This is the reason as well. Is like, as you may know, the Golden Globes were last Sunday in the US, Sunday or Monday night in the UK. Haven't watched it because these award shows kind of always end the same. Someone who moderately deserves. I'm not going to say that they don't deserve it because technically anyone who's nominated deserves to win, and anyone who isn't nominated also kind of deserves to win because everyone just putting in effort and stuff like that. So in that regard, award shows are bullshit, but they always end the same. Someone who moderately deserves to win takes the prize and then uses it, the podium, to plug any kind of activist cause that they've going. Right? And any kind of political opinion that they have, they perpetuate on there. So, you know, I remember, like, when Leonardo DiCaprio finally won his Academy Award. I think the first thing he said was like, I care about climate change or something like that. And it's like, no, dude, you've been nominated so many times and you finally won. This is your moment. This is the moment to say, I'm so happy this has finally happened. I'm so thankful for my fans who've supported me throughout these years. I couldn't have done it without them. No, he immediately like starts talking about climate change and going against it. And it's like, okay, but time and place, dude.
Well, that's the thing is like the only like political nature that I would get into if going with the whole massive what if we ever made a film and you know it won something and we both ever got to give a speech, my speech would be about how we should just be thankful for the fact that we're in an industry that's amazing and all that shit. And then I would say the one political thing is, okay, guys, and my one political note is we need to stop being fucking political because look, none of you are governors, none of you are presidents, none of you are fucking politicians. Why are we the ones being the politicians? And I don't want to hear, oh, but we have a responsibility because we can influence millions of people. That's why we shouldn't be doing this shit, because we can influence millions of people into making an uninformed decision. They're going off of what you say, not an actual decision based on information that you're giving them. None of you do the research. None of you give them the
that's
facts.
the thing.
You
They have all
them
this power, and they can't bear the responsibility that comes with it.
Yeah. Well, actually, no. They can. They can, but they're not bearing it responsibly. That's the main issue, I would argue. That they have all this power and they're using it irresponsibly.
If I were to give a speech for receiving the award, I would probably just say, thanks. Literally, anyone else who was nominated for this deserves it as much, if not probably more. But thanks. Yeah. I guess my agent paid you enough for this, so thanks. This means very much. This means very little to me. I was expecting not to receive this, and now that I've received it, my life has not changed. Thank you.
And then I would probably take the stage and go, and everyone's laughing and going, no, he's not kidding. He genuinely thinks that. Yeah. That wasn't a joke. That wasn't a bit. So and then I would give thanks as well, and then I would launch into a fucking a fucking rant.
Well, basically, have you ever seen? I think Jerry Seinfeld won an award for like comedy or something. And it's like a famous speech that he did where he basically was like, "I hate awards. They're meaningless, and all they are is for us to kind of like toot our own horn and like make ourselves feel better about ourselves while saying that these things matter when they actually don't." Having said that, I really appreciate the award.
Yeah,
And it's like, yeah, that sounds about right.
that does sound about right. So just quickly, I've just seen something. So the person who won Best Actor in a motion picture for drama was Chadwick Boseman. Now, to be fair, I haven't seen Ma Rainey's Black Bottom.
Nor have I.
Part of me does wonder, and to be fair, it may be a fairly nasty way to look at it if he won solely because he's passed away.
Oh no, 100%.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me.
This always happens. Like actors
Yeah,
who win an award. Sorry, actors who die will usually win an award, especially if they're like high profile.
yeah.
I will say the best actor in a comedy or musical, well deserved.
Well, what he has, it also won Best Picture for a musical or comedy.
Yes, and it
Oh,
deserves it. It's really fucking cool.
sorry, I have to say, thank fuck it beat Hamilton because I'm so done with Hamilton's hype. I'm just so done with it.
Haven't
I
watched
don't.
it.
I've never seen Hamilton, and I hate it. I hate Hamilton. Probably going to get a lot of
I hate
shtick
it.
from Tammy now.
I haven't seen it, but I hate it. I don't know. I don't feel the
If
wrong to
Sarah
judge it at
watches
all.
this podcast, she's going to give me an earful about how could I fucking hate
Oh yeah.
Hamilton, even if I haven't
Well,
seen.
if you hate us and the things that we say, you can take it up with our man. I'm pointing at Chris Hemsworth, but I really mean Baby Yoda.
Why not both?
Why not both? That would be a good crossover.
That would be a good crossover. I'm trying to see what else is, if there's anything like else that's been awarded or nominated. Not that I can see. To be fair, it's been a pretty dead year for 2020, so a lot of
Yeah.
things here that probably won shit
I don't think
don't
anything
really matter.
interesting really happened other than that.
Yeah. What is Mank? Whatever it. No, it was directed by David Fincher.
Mank.
Oh, it's a biographic drama film about the screenwriter Herman J. Mankiewicz. I think I pronounced that correctly. No idea.
Sounds Jewish.
Oh, he wrote Citizen Kane, I think. Oh, of course he did.
Well, okay. So you think the next Citizen Kane is just a film about the guy who wrote Citizen Kane? That's cheating. You can't do that.
They make it 4 hours long in the spirit of Citizen Kane, and it's all boring. Fair. Citizen Kane seems like a fine film, but just not my cup of tea, in all honesty. But yeah, just yeah. Man, I'm so done with the Hollywood drama. I would love just one week with no drama, no political views, no nothing. And you know what? If anyone in Hollywood is watching this, doubt they are, but any famous actor, and I'm going to tell you this now. Put this out to all your friends. I will give you all £1 million. I don't have £1 million, but I'll find a way to make £1 million for everyone and give it to all of you. If you somehow, for 1 week, no drama, guarantee that won't happen. Guarantee I don't even need to worry about making that many £1 million.
Because there's always something. There's so many people in Hollywood these days, and they blend together. And Hollywood music industry, it doesn't matter. They're all the same.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, no, yeah, fuck it. I'm not going to say Hollywood. I'm going to say the entire creative industry, specifically film, television, film/television, and music. Put those two together. Anyway.
I don't know where this conversation is going that Tammy's holding against herself.
I think she's waiting for us to change the subject.
I feel like today, at the end of this whole thing, we should just read it.
Yeah, probably.
Like, we'll let her do her thing, and then at the end of the day, we'll just read the whole thing. and like voices and shit.
Yep.
Anyway,
So just quickly having a few look at other things. Oh, and then sort of the actual topic, but on a more weirdly positive note. Still within the whole fucking industry, creative industry. I'm sure I sent this to you, but Gen Z, I think, which is the current generation or whatever, tried to cancel Eminem for the offensive lyrics in his rap. And the
yeah,
most beautiful thing happened. Finally, an entire generation, the millennials,
they've
stood
done
up and
something
said,
right, did they?
yeah, they've done something right and said, that's fucking stupid. It makes no
Yeah,
sense. His music is brilliant. Fuck off, we're not canceling him. And they just basically fought back and they've been playing his music for has basically been man, his music sales are gonna go through the roof just for this
it probably
alone.
will.
I mean,
You know what
Jesus.
it is he's crass, right? And like, there's a lot of things that he says that are
Yeah.
basically just they're not okay. They're
Yeah.
really not okay. But um, it is a style of like there's a thing in music that's actually I don't understand why, right? But and he perpetuated this as well. There's this ongoing like thing in music where people love violent lyrics.
Yeah.
Like when you listen to most rappers, it's literally about how they're gonna kill other guys with a
They're gonna
gun.
pop a cap in
They're gonna
someone's
pop
ass.
a cap in someone's ass, put their noggin uh, 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 to the gun and blast. Uh, you know, fuck their wife until they cannot walk. Um,
Yeah, exactly.
and then
Boats and
write it
hoses
up on
and
a
shit.
board of shot. I don't know. I'm not a rapper. Um, basically, like if I can if I can come back to the plug, I actually wrote a song on the album available 25th of March on most major retailers. Um, and it's called Murderous Theme, right? And I wrote this 5.5 years ago originally. Basically, with the idea of like I was playing a murderer for like a project in school, in film school, and I was like, okay, fine, I'm tired. Like I didn't sleep all night, and I was in a very weird mood, and I wrote like a musical about a murderer that just kills people. But as I developed the song, it became more and more of a statement where it's like, well, people love this kind of music. How, like, I'll make it very graphic, right? So there's lines in there, right? It literally starts with, "I feel like murdering today. I'll stab my victims till they bleed to death. And should I want to kill them any other way, I'll choke them till they draw their very last breath. Then, uh, I'll stab my victim in the chest, and I'll obliterate both of their knees. You might be thinking I'm just obsessed with hanging people high in trees." Which I sounds horrifying. And as I was like mixing it with my brother as well, I was like with my face in my hands going like, "Oh shit, I wrote this. People are going to hear this." But when you think about it, compared to like a lot of other stuff that is out there, especially from Eminem, that's pretty mild.
Yeah.
It's not good, but it's pretty mild.
Like that's the thing, like that's always the issue. Like if it's in a creative sense, if it's in a show, a song, a film, a play, a fucking radio play, whatever. If it's in a fucking painting and
Yeah.
it's depicting sex or violence or whatever, just man, fuck it. If you're offended by someone using, offensive words or talking about violence and something, then fucking grow a thicker skin. Who gives a
And don't
shit?
listen to it. More
Yeah, exactly.
importantly.
Don't watch it, don't look at it, don't listen to it,
Uh,
whatever it is.
I mean, he genuinely has lyrics like, "Hi kids, do you like violence? Would you like to see me stick 9-inch nails up each one of my eyelids?" I mean, it's horrifying.
That is fucking horrifying. Oh
And
god.
then there's another song where he says, "And Dr. Dre said nothing because he's dead locked up in my basement," or something
Like
like
yeah,
that.
it's
It's that kind of thing where it's like, uh, you know, these things. It's ultimately, I don't want to say it this way because it sounds cheap and cheating, but it's art. Not all art is for everyone. especially this kind of like crass stuff. What's my point? I'm so distracted by this conversation.
I am too. I feel like this is just we need to switch and just you need to take A or B and then we just
I
need
don't
to...
even know who's who at this point. We're just gonna like flip a coin or something because I don't even think it matters. Anyway, so in defense, like basically, I would say right, the way that we're talking about Eminem in a way is almost contradictory to how we talked earlier about Bill Burr and Gina Carano. The difference being that, well, you said, well, when Bill Burr says something, because he's a comedian, we can let him off the hook. That's because his comedy is his art form.
Yeah,
Inside of the art,
exactly.
there's a like when you create art, there is this bubble where everything you say and do exists within this bubble. And I
Yeah,
think for music, that's very important to distinguish from the person. So, for instance,
yeah,
with when Eminem or Dr. Dre or um, Lil Nas or any of these rappers or me sing about killing people and like all these horrifying other shit, like rape. I guess
yeah,
I haven't gone there, but I guess people sing about wanting to rape people.
yeah,
Um, that exists within the bubble of their art. You don't
yeah,
like it, don't listen to it. If you have children who
yeah,
like it and listen to it, you have to like tell them, this is crass. We'd rather not
yeah,
have you listen to it just yet.
yeah.
Um, if
Because
you're an adult and you don't like it, then fucking don't listen to it. It's not for you. It doesn't have to be.
yeah.
Not everything is about you, Karen.
Well, that's the thing. In this situation, it's not even about the Karens. It's about the millennials, which I don't know. It's fucking magenta and Thilren, whatever the fucking millennials' names are now these days. I mean, not millennials, Gen Z's names are these days because people are fucking naming their kids weird shit.
Yeah.
Which I feel like is child abuse, but anyway.
We've already talked about this. I'm still
We
calling
have
mine
talked about this.
Jesus.
We can talk about it again. But regardless, is that I will say that's the only nice thing I thought of. For thank fuck for once, it's not Karen saying, "Oh, Eminem's lyrics are breeding violence in our streets like video games are, and therefore we
They're
need to stop
not though. This is the thing
it."
that always hurts me is they're not. It's proven that they
It's not.
don't. It's creative
Yeah,
outlets.
and that's always there's always the great counter argument, which they will always pretend doesn't exist. It's like, okay, fair enough. Video games cause violence. All right, how do you explain the First, Second World War, and all the wars before that when video games weren't a thing?
Yeah.
Time travel, and they went back in time, brought
No,
video games.
not even that. It's just
Wouldn't
like
surprise me.
so basically the argument isn't even that bad in that sense. It's just they're saying that violence is violent video games is introducing violence to children at a younger age.
Yeah,
So they're making children violent, which will end up making them violent into adulthood. That's basically that's basically the argument that they have. Which is, can I
yeah,
say a bad word?
sure.
It's retarded.
Oh God, oh no, I'm so offended.
Well, you wouldn't be because you're not, as far as I'm aware, disabled.
I mean, I have dyslexia, but I don't know if you would.
Retard. You're literally retarded.
There we go.
See, that is a very funny joke to let me explain the joke real quick.
No,
Right?
it's
It's a joke to dyslexics, right? Who can't read, so literarily, but also it's instead of literally, it's like a play on words. Literarily retarded. You have to understand, every time I make a brilliant joke, I will have to explain it because most likely it's brilliant just for me. I'm sorry, I tried.
I thought of the most brilliant joke the other day. Yeah, I mean, well, you may not find it brilliant,
Yeah.
but I do, and that's all.
Literally, I say a thing. You wouldn't get it, so let me explain.
People love it when someone has to explain their joke.
Literarily.
But anyway, um, What the fuck is just going on with it's?
Just ignore it for now. We'll get back to it. We'll
Oh
get
my god! But
we'll get back to it in about 20 minutes.
on the sort of strange random note, going back to like the most things like doing with violence.
Hmm.
So I was watching this. You don't watch it, but lots of people do. But I was watching the latest episode of Critical Role,
Hmm.
it's a show where a bunch of voice actors play Dungeons and Dragons, and one of the players did the most, I think, honestly, barbaric things ever. It's the most barbaric kill. They killed someone, and just so they're infiltrating this fortress. One team goes down, and they're basically enacting a horror film where they're basically going through killing all the fucking guards. Meanwhile, the very first guard they actually met, they were able to charm. So he's just sitting there with his head in his hands, just counting down,
Yeah.
just because. But one, and you'll find this in this is reminiscence of Mark. I got flashbacks to Mark shoving someone's hand up their own ass.
Yeah, I did that.
So this person was sitting by a sleeping guard, so that way if they woke up, they could deal with the guard. The guard woke up, and she poured acid down his throat. And for the next few minutes, all that there was basically just the DM describing how he's writhing around in pain because it's not quick. Acid
Of course,
dissolving
no, it
flesh.
fucking hurts.
And I just thought, fucking hell, D&D does bring out the psychos in people, but in
Oh,
the
of
most
course.
entertaining way sometimes.
Dude, as Mark, I've done some horrible stuff. I'm willing to
Oh
admit.
yeah. Yeah.
I have threatened people to do a very lousy thing that ultimately didn't matter. Like
Yeah.
build a church for 25 gold.
Yeah.
Um I have, in response to being killed, I have delimbed a person who we then became friends with. So you know we're fine, we're cool. I have, as an interrogation method, removed someone's arm and then shoved it up someone's butt, which, may I add, they enjoyed. Um,
It gets me every fucking time.
in the
But
most aggressive way, I have essentially created the witness protection program by saying
and
you're
and you
you're.
invented communism, I think, as well, in the most bizarre.
I have
Mark
invented a weird communistic, yeah.
Mark in his short time as a character, actually, as it turns out, very long time as a character, out of game, but in game, actually not that long, has come up and done the most bizarre shit.
Oh yeah, things that are so. This is what I'm proud about as well, right? Is all of those things are incredibly characteristic, and at the same time, when you think about how ingenious they are, incredibly uncharacteristic. They strike that line perfectly.
Because to give you an idea, and this is sort of a weird thing, is doing a podcast, but fuck it, all it doesn't really matter. But in the most recent sessions of our campaign, which I DM, you guys just fought an ancient green dragon and won. But the whole time you guys were basically talking to it while it was disguised as one of the dwarves of this dwarven realm. Um, there would have been a way for you guys to basically trick it into you guys not being onto him. You guys could have fooled him, but the tone you were taking, where you were like, "Oh, but you see, I
No,
heard
I wasn't
this and
trying. I
this
wasn't
and this."
trying.
Yeah, you weren't trying. The dragon was just like, "All right, well, jig's up. I'm just going to stall for a little bit longer and make sure they all get into positions I want them to be in." Because, and to be fair, that yeah, like it was just entertaining because I was thinking that was interesting. I was just thinking if you guys had talked about your plan going into this, that would have been interesting. But thankfully, none of you guys did really plan. You just would have just went straight for it, which I still love.
Bubba, when do we ever plan?
That's fair. That is fair.
When do we have? We just
I mean,
wing it.
You kind of planned for dealing with Ragmore.
Not really. That just kind of happened as well. Don't forget, we had an idea of what we're going to do, but we didn't think we were actually going to like start a revolution until we
To
actually
be
got
fair,
to the gate.
Yeah, I think your guys' plan was just like a go to Nidavellir, go to Feywild, then go to Theros, and then deal with Cass. Which, to be fair, it's fine because I know that there are several DMs and several people who always go, "Oh yes, but what is the plan?" And they want to find detailed blueprints, with bullet points and a fucking presentation with
Yeah,
slideshows and shit of like their detailed plan. And sometimes I just think players, not all players are capable of doing that kind of planning. Not all players are capable. Some players just like to go with it, and sometimes you as a DM have just got to realize that and just say, "All right, fuck it, that's what they're
yeah.
gonna do. I'll accept it."
Again,
Which,
then
I actually
again, most
think
people aren't the combination of us.
no, exactly. And to be fair, I think interestingly, I think the DMs that I know who do that, who's like, okay, but what's the actual plan? Is that they're getting to know what your plan is, so that they can either counter your plan
Yeah,
or that they can kind of make sure your plan actually works out. So like that way they can prepare
yeah.
the battles and the encounters and shit.
To be fair,
But
with
I'm
you,
always
usually, I'll assume that you make the right call. So often enough, I feel comfortable with telling you a plan because oftentimes you will say, okay, we'll make it work somehow. Or like you will integrate it in such a way that it will work. And if it doesn't work, it's because we genuinely fucked up somewhere.
yeah,
Or
exactly.
because
Like, that's the
because
thing
the
is
the way that we thought it was gonna go isn't the way it works.
yeah, because
But there
that's
are
the thing
some
is
GMs
I
that sorry, go on.
oh no, you go on. Sorry, you go on. You go
There
on.
are some GMs at times that will literally just go like, "Oh, this is your plan." Well, you didn't account for this thing that I literally just came up with.
Yeah,
And it's
and
that kind of thing which like there is this common consensus where it's the players versus the DM, which isn't necessarily true.
yeah, because I mean, I as a player have been in part of games like that, and I as a DM very early on in my DMing career, as it were, had done stuff like that. When then in the end, I look back and think, man, I really wish I had not thought like that because it's stupid. But I think that's the thing. Is like the only times where I think of times where there are basically going to be hiccups where you guys say, okay, this is our plan, and I always say, oh yes, let's see what we can make it work, and then there's like something that kind of throws a wrench into the mix, like something you guys didn't see coming. It's either I had always planned to either do it that way, or
Yeah.
I just thought of it on the fly and thought that would be fucking super cool and a great twist, and I think they would appreciate it, so I'm going to do it. Because
Yeah,
I'm trying
makes
to think
sense.
what because there was a time in one of the games where I did something like that, and everyone was like, wow.
I don't remember. Probably when we
That's
were fighting the first hag?
Yeah, I think the Feanor hag, I think, might have been it.
That's also possible.
Because I remember that with like one of my players, who her Fey patron is the King of the Spring Court, and then she discovered that who she thought was her patron was in fact someone pretending to be her patron all along, which was a hag. Um, because I ended up talking to her a lot about it in depth and won't go into all the finite details because a lot of weird shit
Of
happened to it.
course.
And I basically asked her, like, oh, were you okay with it in the end? Because that was kind of heavy. And she was like, yeah, it was fine. At least I hope it was. We'll see from the comment section. Hopefully it was. But
Keep your eyes on the comment section and something will come up, I'm sure.
or maybe not. Maybe she's just too enthralled with her story.
That is also entirely possible. Let's hope not. I'm trying to find some music for the bit that's coming up.
What the da 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 da.
No. This is specifically for the reading the conversation bit.
Oh, okay.
I'm
But
sure I have some instrumentals lying around. Anyway, yeah.
uh,
So
but but yeah, I think like she's just not even paying attention to us anymore.
probably not.
Oh, there we go.
This will do.
Yeah, there's the comment, I think. At least I hope that's it. Oh yeah, she's saying yeah. Fair enough. Okay, that's good. I don't feel as bad now after waiting so long. Um, but there were a few other. I'm sure I've like thrown in a couple other twists that were like, oh wow, or a few other things that made you guys go, oh that's fun. But
Yeah,
oh sorry, not the spring
I'll do
chord, the
I'll
autumn
do it
chord.
this way.
That's right. Um, but yeah, I think that's always the panic of a GM because you don't want to unfoil the plans, but you want to do something cool. But there's always that hint of war. Is like I want to warn my player about it just to make sure that they are okay with it. But if I do that, then
Yeah, it
it
might
ruins the
it might lose
surprise.
something.
It
Yeah.
will ruin the surprise. Yeah.
Anyway, while on the topic of D&D, and I think this might be our last topic for today, potentially. I believe you had a couple of things that. Oh my god, this goddamn.
Yes, I do. So recently,
Yes.
and we've kind of talked about it a little bit.
Mm,
Um, so the Dungeons and Dragons film has recently revealed that the Dungeons and Dragons film that comes out in 2022, by the way, has revealed Hugh Grant is going to be apparently playing the villain in it. And the current cast reads as this: there's a guy called Regin Paul Page, Chris Pine, Hugh Grant, Michelle Rodriguez, Sophia Lillis, and Justin Smith are all in it.
wait, Michelle
What?
Rodriguez from Fast and Furious
Yeah, she's in it.
and Chris Pine.
Yeah,
Chris Pine is in a Dungeons and Dragons movie.
yeah.
I have higher hopes.
They were like the first two announced.
Yeah, but I've not tracked any of this.
Fair enough. But yeah, they're announcing more and more of the cast, and obviously this brings into the whole question of like, oh, games being turned into films, and whether it goes well or not. And you were on the side that it isn't, and I'm on the side that is like, well, this might be
Okay,
different.
so I will say, this is the con because there's been times where like I really liked a film that was based on a game. For instance, even though it's not a popular pick, I did
Doom,
like I didn't actually watch Doom.
fair enough.
I did like Need for Speed a lot. I think it was a really well done film.
Yeah, actually, I'll give you that. I think Need for Speed was a well done film. It felt more like a Fast and Furious knockoff
Yes,
than a
but
video game.
done in a very
Need for
technically
Speed kind of
ex,
way.
ex yeah, but like yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah.
But also like, when you watch the behind the scenes footage for that film, it's incredible like the stuff that they've done.
Yeah.
Um but like there's for the most part like when I think about films based on video games that I've seen, I think about Max Payne and I think to myself, "Oh, no. Oh no."
Yeah. No.
Um
And
and
what else? Assassin's Creed, Doom.
Assassin's Creed was awful. Doom I haven't seen, like I said.
Doom is terrible, but it's hilariously terrible.
Okay, I'll take your word for it.
Um, what other video games have been turned into films?
Um.
Mortal Kombat, which
Oh
are
yeah,
now
yeah.
making
That's not very
making a
good.
new one. But I will say this: I have higher hopes for the new Mortal Kombat film for the simple fact that Raiden, who is an Asian deity, isn't just some fucking white guy making you go, wait, what? Oh,
Uh.
right, because Americans forget that there's a thing called, kind of keeping to the source material, but
Yeah.
fair enough.
I will say, the animated Mortal Kombat film that came out last year was pretty good.
Yeah,
Did exactly
I
what it
think the
needed to
thing
do.
is, yeah, I think weirdly, I think Hollywood is kind of getting it. It's fair, maybe too early to tell, but I think they're getting it better. I think they're getting it
I
more
think.
right, as it were.
I think they're depending on actual fans of franchises to make these films. I'll.
Yeah, I think that's another thing. I think that because now a lot of the fans of kind of who have grown up with the
Yeah.
franchises now kind of join the creative industry. I think now they've kind
Yeah.
of realized the fans actually kind of know the source material very well, and because they're filmmakers and professionals, they know how to take it from the
Yeah.
material and translate it into the.
No, exactly.
Yeah,
Like I haven't seen the latest Tomb Raider film, which is like 4 years old by now, I think. Um,
yeah,
but I've been told it's really good,
yeah.
and
It's
I
not
don't know
bad.
any of the lore, so I might actually enjoy it.
Like, yeah, I think this thing because I did watch it, and I thought it was enjoyable. But I mean, in the end, I didn't like it that much. But to be fair,
Yeah.
I had played the games and loved the game, so I think there's always that influence of like I played it
There's always
and
going to be
playing
that
it.
bias
Yeah, that slight
where
bias
it's like,
for the games.
this doesn't correspond with the game in any way.
Yeah,
Tammy
but
said
I
Super
think
Mario Brothers was made into a film. I know that.
oh, it was.
1993.
Yeah, did you see it? Have you ever
No,
seen it?
no.
It is.
I want to
It is
because it looks bad.
horribly. It is like The Room for video game movies. It is that hilariously bad. It's not two
Nice.
Italian guys. It's that stereotypical American thing where it's like, oh, we're in New York, but somewhat Italian, so we're Italian.
Oh
No,
yeah,
you're American,
they're from the
pretending to be Italian,
no
but
no
badly.
they're like descendants from Italian immigrants in fucking the Bronx or Brooklyn or whatever it is.
Yeah, but they're not Italian though. But they always say they're fucking Italian. It's like, no, you
Is
you aren't
Joey
Italian.
Tribbiani Italian?
No, he's not.
Well, he certainly seems to believe that he is.
He's not though. He doesn't speak Italian. He doesn't sound Italian. He doesn't look Italian. He looks
Um,
like some fucking guy.
um, if you check the canon, I think you will find he does indeed speak Italian
He
because
knows like just the swear.
his
He
mother
knows the
doesn't
swear
speak
words.
English. That's not true, is it?
Yeah,
Sorry, his
no,
grandma doesn't speak English.
his grandmother doesn't speak English, but he doesn't speak Italian. So when he's communicating, he literally went this big scene, a coming up, that's not Italian.
Yeah, okay,
That's
fair
an
enough.
American thinking they're speaking in
Fair enough.
Italian.
Fair
Italian.
enough. Dead or
But
Alive
yeah,
was made into a film. Straight to video.
probably. I need to look this up now for
Of
scientific reasons.
course. Technically, I mean, I know it's based on the book, but the aesthetic doesn't necessarily reinforce this. But Scott Pilgrim versus the World, technically, does that count? Because it's based on a book, but aesthetically, it's taking more from the video games.
No, I'd say it's based on a comic book.
Okay, fair
It's
enough.
it's because here's the thing I would argue about Dungeons and Dragons. It's a little hard because it's not technically based on a video game like Baldur's Gate or Neverwinter. It's based on a lot of things. It's based on the video games. It's based on the actual tabletop RPG,
Yeah.
and it's based on books and comic books. Because that's the thing, Dungeons and Dragons is widespread. It's not just a board game. It's
Yes.
lots of other things.
But this is the second reason why I'm worried about the new Dungeons and Dragons film, is because the first one was really bad and had nothing to do with the games.
When did it come out though?
Or early 2000s, I want to say. I remember it was like 4 kids in like a fantasy world, and there's like a dude, like I think the guy hunting them was actually quite famous. I don't remember
So
exactly.
it came out in 2000. It has a 10% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Um, but yeah, because I mean, that's the thing is, it was made into like a goofy ages ago. It was made into an animated show like
Yeah.
ages ago, like I think during the 90s or something.
It had Jeremy Irons in it as well
Of course,
as like the main bad guy, and Marlon Wayans.
because the other thing to bear in mind, there was a Dungeons and Dragons animated series made in 1985,
Yeah.
which I mean, to be fair, if you look at that and compare it to now, it is completely inaccurate to the
Today,
actual like games.
I found out there's a Far Cry movie made in
There is one, or they're
2008.
making one.
No, there is one made in 2008 by Uwe Boll.
Right. Film.
An ex special marine forces, sorry, an ex special forces
Oh
soldier
god.
turned in boatman is hired by a journalist to investigate a top secret military base on a nearby island.
Oh, for God's
Is
sake.
anyone famous in this? Chris Coppola. He sounds
Also,
famous.
they're turning a Tom Clancy book into a film, but that's different. That's based on a book rather
Yeah,
than
it's
the
based on a
actual
book, so that's fine.
I mean, that's the other thing. You also have to remember Rampage is based on a video game,
That is true, and it was a fantastic film.
and so was Warcraft, and Warcraft was actually pretty
I haven't actually
decent in
seen
my opinion.
Warcraft.
It's actually pretty decent in my opinion.
There's multiple Rampage films apparently, but none to do with the monkey.
What else to do? Yeah, there are lots. There's a Tekken film. Oh yeah, there's Sonic as well, which was actually pretty good.
Haven't watched Sonic, but I'll take your word for it.
Uh,
Because everyone I've talked to was very positive about it.
Prince of Persia: The Sands of
I
Time,
actually
which
like
was
that film.
I didn't mind it. Yeah, I thought it was actually
I thought it was good.
decent. Oh yeah, there's
I
Monster
enjoyed
Hunter,
Ben
which
Kingsley in it.
yeah, there was Monster Hunter, which had Mila Djokovic, I think, in it,
Oh sure, whatever,
which
man.
wasn't received brilliantly by the
No,
looks of
I'm
things. Like
sure.
I was never that interested in the video
Yeah,
game either. It just seemed like
she was
another
in the
one of those.
Resident Evil games as well, wasn't she?
Yeah, she was.
Yeah.
The first two Resident Evil films were actually not too bad in my opinion. It went downhill pretty quickly after that, but yeah.
Does Wreck-It Ralph count?
What's Wreck-It Ralph for a video game first?
I don't think it was, but I think it's based on like Mario and Donkey Kong. But it's only based on. It's not. It's not
It's
actually.
based on. I think that's different
Yeah, fair
though.
enough.
That's the
Fair enough.
thing. Because I think this thing is like I would argue that if it's a film based on a video game, it has to be based and like the
Yeah, no,
characters have
you're
to be
right.
taken from the
You're right.
video
You're
game.
right. You're right. You're right. Ah, wait. Does Pokemon count? No, because
Yeah, I
it's based on a card game, isn't it? But that's still a game.
no. I would argue differently. I think it's based more on the actual Nintendo games rather than the
Oh, there we
card
go.
game.
There we go.
So I would argue yes, it
Pokemon.
does. It does count.
With that one film where they were underwater for some reason, and there was that captain that kept saying, "There's two kinds of people in this world," and then literally just said one thing, and then the direct opposite of that thing by adding "not."
Because I mean, there was. I mean, that's the thing. There's Detective Pikachu.
That was a fantastic film, actually.
That was a fantastic film. Yeah.
That was a great film.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah. Anyway, Dungeons and Dragons. We'll see. I don't.
I'm cautiously optimistic
I'll
because I
watch
think
it thinking it's going to be a garbage film. If it is a garbage film, I will enjoy it, and if it isn't a garbage film, I will be pleasantly surprised.
yeah, I'm gonna be cautiously optimistic on the basis that I think the actual cast list is quite stunning. I think they've got a good cast. And Gary Gygax has actually got a writer's credit, and seeing he invented the fucking game, I think he might help keep them on like task a
Yeah,
little bit better.
exactly. Also,
It's always helpful when you have the original creators in some way kind of helping.
I think Pirates of the Caribbean doesn't count because if it's based on the ride, then no.
Yeah, it's not based on a game, it's based on a ride.
But yeah, but we are here now.
Actually, that's going to be one of the most sorry, just random thing before we
Sure, yeah,
finish up.
yeah,
The most
absolutely.
randomly obscure like things to base it off. It's like fuck, we need to make a new good film, and then just like the Disney exec stands up and looks out his window and he just sees the Pirates of the Caribbean ride and goes, I have an idea.
Yes.
Or just the guy who's like just some random writer in Hollywood. He's just taking his kids to Disneyland. And he's on the Pirates of the Caribbean ride, going, this would make a fun film.
Yeah, exactly.
Just randomly out of the blue.
But anyway, here we are now at the end of the show. I believe there's a script written for us throughout this entire comment
The
page.
issue is just so disjointed because there's parts where she stops talking about it and starts acknowledging stuff that
I
we are
know
talking
we'll
about.
we'll just continue through it as if nothing happened.
So we're gonna do it now. Or we're going to take
Let's
take
let's
this.
let's just do it now.
Okay.
What are you feeling? A or B? Would you wanna?
Let's roll a dice, shall we?
Okay.
All right. I'll roll d20. 1 to 11. I'm B11. Sorry, 1 to 10. I'm B. 11 to 20. I'm A. All right.
Okay.
Natural 1. I'm B.
Okay.
Better to get a natural 1 now. To be fair, than on
Okay.
another day.
Let me turn on some music. Let's quiet that down a bit. There we go. Okay. You ready?
Yep.
Hey, how you doing?
Not bad. You?
Not too bad. Not too bad. Seen some stuff that scared me for life, but hey, it's March, so it's cool.
I mean, can you even believe it's March again?
Hey, so I'm leaving you because I do not think that this relationship is going anywhere.
There's a
There's
bit
more?
right after. Yeah, there's more after the sort of.
Oh, I don't
It doesn't abruptly end weirdly.
I don't see that bit. Oh wait. Yeah,
It
it
is
feels
only
like
like
only
2 lines
yesterday since it was March.
because it was.
Right, so now. Hey, so I'm leaving you because I do not think this relationship is going anywhere, and I feel unfulfilled.
Right. Click. Hamilton.
I shall stay with you.
The puppy puts Hamilton on. It's your line again.
So do you think if I take this knife out of my leg, I will bleed out?
Probably. Why?
Because I have an itch I cannot reach because of it.
Fair. Want me to take it out?
That'd be great, thanks. Oh! Ah!
You screaming. That's on the same line, Tammy. Come on. Do better.
Ah! I think it's you.
Hey, we need to talk.
Panics. Are you breaking up with me?
Wait, what? How did we get there?
You said you wanted to talk. That's good for I am leaving your sorry ass. And I'm sorry, but I have put too much time and energy into this relationship, and for you, what the fuck? I just want to end it. Anyway, I didn't write it. I put too much time and energy into this relationship, and for you to just so casually say you are leaving me is unacceptable. You're not the easiest person to live with, you know. But I look past that because I love you, damn it, I love you!
Awkward beat. Well, thanks, but I just wanted to ask if you wanted Chinese or pizza.
Pizza, please.
Nice.
It's all about me.
What is?
Literally
Nice
first.
use of prop. They got all your sides right.
I know, right?
Oh wait, no. This is about your sister.
Oh
Right,
my
sorry.
word! You are right! Damn, she gets all the attention.
I mean, she does have all the goods. She has all the goods, so
I mean, it's not like she has everything.
actually this thing does show she does.
So hear me out. But what if instead of plastic surgery, we just go into the mechanical enhancement?
Okay, explain.
So like, robots are hot, right?
Name one hot robot.
Ultron.
Wait, really?
Yeah, man, just look at him. He all chrome and slick. And that voice, I mean, wow.
I can see where you are coming from, but how will robotic enhancements come in?
Because it's just the next step, man. TV shows and films make robots hot now. That's the end of that conversation. That's the end of the conversation. Okay,
Well, Tammy, that was an interesting dive into your weird, strange, exotic mind.
I feel emotionally elated.
I feel emotionally freaked out.
Yeah, in more ways than one.
Yep.
I think we might just end it there.
Yeah, it's a weird note to end it on, which seems fitting for us.
Yeah, I don't really have anything else to add to the situation.
What about the things we've talked about or the things we just read?
Literally either. So
yes, Tammy,
us...
it was, but you wrote the fucking thing.
So join us next time when we have a new guest, more plugs, probably no laundry,
Well,
and
the same
another
plugs.
script. Same plugs. Watch 25th, baby.